nice time out here today. Thanks again for making the time to come out and practice some on-course work, including the opening tee shot and also trouble shot like the uneven lies. So to sum up what we kind of went over today, in terms of an opening tee shot, you already have such a great understanding of your own golf swing, and you have an understanding of what your ball shape is. You say that you like to play a fade, so if you're hitting a fade that day on the range, I'd encourage you to continue doing that. But if you happen to have a day where maybe the ball is really turning left naturally, try not to fight it and just realize that might be what works for you today. And instead of teeing up on the right side of the tee box, maybe you're going over to the left, aiming to the right, and just letting it hook.
Yep.
Maybe that's all you have some days. What I would say with the uneven lies, just continue to practice taking your practice swing before you strike, finding out the low point, and then stepping up and trusting it, right? Yeah. A couple things before I ask you some questions. I didn't mention, but I think are very helpful out on the golf course to transfer from the range over to the actual course. One is going to be grip pressure. So in grip pressure, I would encourage you when you're practicing on the range to have a dedicated session where you're at a grip pressure of maybe 2 or 3 out of 10 versus I don't know how tight I'm gripping. Like, have an idea of exactly what you want and try to practice that in your routine. Step back from the ball, get your grip pressure that you want, come on up, confirm that you have that right grip pressure, pull the trigger. Usually the lighter that you have your grip pressure out on the golf course, it's easier to replicate light versus tight, if that makes sense. The other thing that I would try to help you out with in terms of the nerves that you may have on the first tee shot, like we have a really tight window right here, for example, having to carry over some water, I would say is on your off time away from the golf course, work on your breath. And a good drill that you can do is a popular drill amongst many different industries or people who have to deal with breath. But it's a breath where you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and then exhale for 4 seconds, and hold for another 4 seconds. If you keep repeating that, generally you'll be able to get your heart rate to slow down and your nerves will sort of calm down, if that makes sense. And again, you're not going to completely get rid of the nerves. I think at the same time, a lot of really big golfers and tour players say that you're going to have nerves on the first tee no matter what. And sometimes you have to just be willing to accept that those nerves are going to be there. And that just shows that you care, like Tiger Woods says, right?
Right.
And so for that reason, it's more of an excitement than it is something that you should shy away from. Step up to the moment, feel like your breath's under control, feel like your grip's under control, and just execute your routine. So from today, do you have any questions or comments about what we worked on?
No, I think it was a good session. I really enjoyed what we worked on. I have some good takeaways, finding where my club bottoms out in my routine. I do have a routine, but I typically don't focus so much on that and the breathing.
Awesome. That's great. So before you go, you plan on practicing this coming Tuesday.
Yeah.
And on that Tuesday, what I'd like you to try and go ahead and do is, it'll be a range session. Grab your sand wedge, your 8-iron, a 5-iron, and your driver. So 4 clubs. And I'd like you to really limit the amount of balls that you hit. So with your wedge, 7-iron, wedge, 8-iron, 5-iron, and driver, make it no more than 5 balls per club. But what I'd really like you to focus on is the routine that we worked on the first tee earlier in our lesson today. So figure out a visual, understand what your ball shape might be doing, your ball flight, pick a target intermediate from you and that target, and work on your grip pressure, step up, hit 5 shots with each club. And after every shot, I'd like you to really evaluate and say, what just happened there in terms of my mechanics? Did I execute my routine properly? Was my heart rate up? Or if you hit a really good shot, focus on the things that you did well. Sound like a plan? So really a total of 20 shots. So you should be able to get it done in around 30 to 45 minutes, I'd say.
Quick session.
Awesome. You can save your day for something else. That'd be pretty cool.
Thanks, Turner.
Thank you, Dwayne.